Good morning, praise the Lord. I just received an inbox message from a dear brother, dear friend of mine. He asked me to prayerfully say a few words about not so much as how I feel, because how we don't feel the same, and sometimes the way you feel can offend the other person, although you are allowed to and entitled to your feelings. Nothing more than feelings. We are entitled to our feelings just as much as we are entitled to our anger, but we shouldn't be entitled to our racism and bigotry and hate. But still, we are free will beings. See, God our Father, the Father of the believer and the creator of us all, at judgment is not going to ask me, TD, why did such and such speak to you like that? TD, why did such and such say that to you? TD, why did such and such speak that way of you? No. He's going to ask, why? Why did I think, do, or say, or overreact, or act, or we have sins of commission and sins of omissions, stuff we shouldn't have done and stuff we could have prevented. We have commission and omission. We omitted to help someone. We committed to something we shouldn't. We committed something we shouldn't have committed. We omitted an apology or an act of kindness. Commission and omission. As I leave this alone. So he asked me about how I feel about he's Caucasian. He's an American Caucasian. I'm American African. I don't say Caucasian American. I don't say African American. I say American Caucasian and American African. Even Roosevelt talked about the hyphenated American and the problems that it would bring if we. It's okay. My bloodline is West Indian. It's okay to have culture and pride and ethnicity and remembrance and tradition and mi familia and family and celebrations and Kwanzaa what is it? Man, it escaped me. But it's okay to have Kwanzaa and all the other holidays associated, Hanukkah, with different ethnicities and nationalities. It's okay to have Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Resurrection Day, Easter, whatever you celebrate or whatever you want to call it. But when we start trying to tell different ethnicities and nationalities, hey, don't celebrate that over here. Hey, go to your country and celebrate that. I believe we have not only infringed upon, but we have smashed the toes of people's ethnicity, nationality, and individuality at the same time. Now, I speak a little Spanish. Buenos dias, hermano. Buenos dias, hermana. Dios te bendiga. I speak a little German. Guten Morgen, die Gäste haben guten Tag, bitte. And having patois tongue and Hindi, Namaste, Kesi, Hoti, Kekali, Achebadia, and traveling the world and being in the military. And I've been blessed of our Father to meet different cultures and different people and different situations and different hearts and minds and different nationalities and different borders and bridges and traditions and bloodlines and eyes and hair and cheekbones and chins. So asked me how I felt about statues being removed and such, and it's not how I feel. It's not about how I feel. The world has already been saved, so we should try to add a little supernatural seasoning salt or Mr. or Mrs. or Miss Dash and try to make life taste a little better. We are the salt of the earth, and we try to give, add light to a conversation or add light to a dark situation. I grew up in the Deep South, in Alabama, and it was rough. Being bused to school, walking home from school. It was no cotton candy and peanut brittle experience. It was rough growing up in the Deep South. As an American African, as a black man, as a black man, as a black teen, as a black boy. The two races have been each other's throat the longest. Blacks and whites. I hate saying that because there's no country called Blackie. There's no country called Whitey. But we use black and white to define one another when we should discover one another as well as discover ourselves. I grew up in the Deep South in Huntsville, Alabama, born in a bathtub in Norwood Projects, 35801. At 1406 Apartment 8 Artist Street, all 7 of my brothers and sisters, with the exception of my last baby sister, she was born in L&D, labor and delivery, in Huntsville Hospital. I attended S.R. Butler High School. We were the Butler Rebels. It was a Caucasian dude with a blonde hair, blonde mustache, and he reminds you of Yosemite Sam. He was actually a image, a homage to a Caucasian man that owned slaves. The actual image himself of S.R. Butler, rebel. So we finally moved out of the projects after being there. I lived there for 17 years, from birth until I was 17. And we moved to Edmonton Heights, my mom and dad's first home. And I attended Robert E. Lee High School. I think it's 303 Forest Circle. 606 or 303 Forest Circle, 35811. I'll Google it. You Google it. I'm going from memory. And I never thought about what General Lee stood for, or what he was accused of standing for, or what he showed you he stood for. I was happy to make it out of the hood, out of the projects, dodging police, poverty, penal colonies, projectiles, punks, peddlers, pushers, prostitutes, did I say poverty, potholes, all those P's, prison. So I never gave it any thought about the statue that can't breathe, the horse that can't trample me. The statue didn't do anything to me. Maybe the person who the statue symbolizes or was in remembrance of did some things, some awful things to my ancestors, your ancestors, my neighbor's ancestors. I wasn't there, but supposedly my bloodline was there. So if I keep thinking the same way that my ancestors thought, yours too. Look at all the centuries and hundreds of years we waste. Even Muhammad Ali said that if a man thinks that the same way of 50 that he thought at 20, he's wasted 30 years of his life. The statue hasn't done anything to me. The steel horse, the rider on the horse hasn't done anything to me. But still people tell me when I make these statements or say things that they don't want to hear. They say I am a traitor against my own race and kind. Now, which one is it? Make up your mind. As I leave this alone, but I don't like so much politicking and expressing myself as far as how I feel about certain things. But if I can give you just a glimpse of how I feel and what I think, and as my heart beats, then maybe it might cause you to have a greater understanding and less hate. I don't know. As I leave this alone, but they changed Robert E. Lee High School to Lee High School. And they were the Confederates. We were the Confederates, go Generals. But I never gave it any thought as a child. I was just trying to make it out of the hood through high school, and thank God I made it into the Army. The statues, these inanimate objects, is not doing the damage. It's the heart, mind, and psyche and ideology of the human being that's doing all this damage. As I leave this alone. So God bless you, God keep us. My prayer, I don't know if I answered your question or not, but I pray I gave you a deep thought. Stay up. Stay woke. Nobody can beat you with being you. So be the best you can be. The gospel, garbage, racism, hate, and bigotry all need one thing. A concrete snake, an upright man or woman, a carrier. I pray I touched you a little bit. I pray you got a glimpse of heaven. And I pray you gain understanding. Not because of me, but because of him. God bless you. God keep this my prayer. Peace.